Hi everyone, Olamide is here again, and AfriSIG just ended, and I'm here with the organizer of the African School on Internet Governance, Koliwe Majama, and she's going to be talking to us. Koliwe, it's nice to have you.
Thank you.
Finally.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, so the school just ended, the 7th school just ended, and it was so hectic and all of that. What are your thoughts on the 7th school?
So as always, AfriSIG always has a brilliant cohort. You're surprised every time. Yes, we have some people who come to school who are already prominently involved in internet governance on the continent, whether it's programming, whether it's advocacy work. You also have a good mix of lawyers. But I think our expectations are always very high, that we are channeling in a new group of leaders, more vibrant than the one before, more diversity, because I think when you think about internet governance, you're very clear that it's about the diversity and getting as much people to bring in different perspectives on the prominent issues. So our expectations were high, our expectations were met. We had a group of fellows who attended the African Internet Governance Forum, participated in the first Youth IGF, and also we had the privilege of having some of our fellows on the panels. And I think to close it all was also that we were requested to have or submit someone who would give a closing remark, and that was really good, I think, in terms of just boosting the confidence of the group.
It was really amazing. I'm glad to be part of all the three activities you mentioned. So, I mean, there were so many highlights from the sets. I don't know about the other set, but being privileged to be part of this, what were the high points for you?
Right. I think for me was the resilience and also just people adapting the conversations that we had for the practicum. This year's practicum was looking at the high-level panel report, the UN report on digital cooperation, which I think when we began, people felt that it was not such a pressing or a report that would be, a highlight for the school or something interesting, because in the past we've had issues like data protection, internet shutdowns, but what was a highlight for me was, just the level of participation, analysis, and the fact that we actually managed to get consensus around some of the issues. And I think consensus is something that's not very easy to reach, especially when you have a context like we have in Africa, where there's a lack of trust, lack of accountability, but also just sustainability around trying to have everybody at the table to agree is not an easy thing. And I think what we experienced at the school was spectacular.
It was very intense, and I'm glad to be part of it again. So school has ended. What's going to be happening between now and then until the next application starts? Do we just...
Well, so one of the main activities is a continuation of the production of content and monitoring of the fellows. Also support of regional schools. There are a lot of regional schools that have, mushroomed. There's the Youth Internet Governance School. Tanzania has a women's school of internet governance. East Africa has its own, and a lot of people are coming up to talk about setting up a school to build, just that national capacity around internet governance issues, and also just familiarize with what it means to implement a project that would contribute to maybe the bigger convening, which is what we just had, the African IGF. But of course, we start already thinking about next year. Usually we have our call out by June, so it's a lot of getting in touch with supporters. We have a lot of supporters. If you go on to the AfriSIG website, www.afrisig.org, you will find a supporters page. You can look at all the people who've contributed to making the school the success that it is. But once the call is out, then it's cyclical. We have a selection committee that comes to sit. We also, because the African School on Internet Governance is co-convened or precedes the African IGF, so normally it's also just the logistics around planning to to have the school running.
That's good to hear. So June 2020, watch out.
Yeah.
So what should we expect? Finally, what should we expect in 2020?
I think that leaving 2019, we're expecting to see a lot of analytical content by our class. There's a lot of ideas that have come up even in our most social networking around where people want to go. I know, for instance, you want to start up something that I'm not going to share now, but we've had a lot of brainstorming with individuals around how they want to advance or continue their work. And I think we're also looking forward to just having another fun and vibrant group that has a passion for internet governance on the continent, and also just to have a stronger alumni.
And that's that all the way from Jermaine in Chad. I mean, it's really, really wonderful. It's been mind-blowing. And I'd like to thank the AfriSig and then the APC for the opportunity to be here. We're living differently, and until the next AfriSig, bye for now.
Yeah, but I think also just to mention that in terms of convening the school, there are 3 conveners, which is the African Union Commission and Research ICT Africa. So when we convene a school, this is combined energies, combined efforts, combined expertise that come together.
So I should say my thank you again. Thank you, Koliwe. Thank you, APC. Thank you, Research ICT Africa, and thank you to the African Union Commission.
Yeah.
So it's bye for now.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you.